What if your deepest sorrow wasn't the end, but the beginning of something remarkable? It sounds impossible, right? When I lost my only son, Logan, I thought my life was over. The pain was unbearable and the grief unrelenting. But slowly, through tears and silence, God began to reveal something I never expected. A divine path woven even through my sorrow. And today, I want to share how grief shattered me, but also how it became the very place where God's intricate design unfolded. I'll never forget the moment I first realized Logan was gone. It was like the world collapsed in a single breath. The numbness, the disbelief, the questions that screamed louder than any answers. Everything I thought I knew about life, about God, about myself, it all shattered in an instant. And in those early days, I felt isolated and lost. I questioned everything I believed. How could a good God let this happen? How was I supposed to keep living in a world without my son? The days turned into weeks, and the darkness lingered. I struggled to find meaning in daily life. I wrestled with the temptations to give up hope entirely. Some days I went through the motions, but inside I felt hollow. My faith felt like a battlefield. I prayed, but God felt silent. I was angry and confused and abandoned. If you've ever been in that place, you know how heavy the darkness feels. You know what it's like to wonder if you'll ever feel whole again. And then something shifted. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in a small, almost imperceptible way. A feather on the ground at just the right moment. A scripture that spoke directly to my breaking heart. A sense of Logan's presence when I needed it the most. At first, I resisted. I thought maybe I was imagining things, clinging to anything to dull the pain. But over time, the signs became undeniable. And one moment in particular stands out. A song came on the radio, a song I hadn't heard in years, but one Logan loved. And in that moment, it was as if God whispered, "He's safe. You're not alone." It was the first flicker of light in a sea of darkness. As these moments added up, I began to see something I hadn't before. The dots started to connect. The pain I thought was meaningless began to carry threads of purpose. Because of Logan's story, I began sharing more openly. I connected with others who were grieving. I found opportunities to bring comfort and faith to people I might have never reached otherwise. And I realized, even in the depth of my sorrow, there was a guiding hand at work. God wasn't absent. He was weaving a tapestry I couldn't yet see. That doesn't mean grief disappeared. I still carry the ache every single day. But now, it's not just pain. It's purpose. God has used my grief to reshape how I see life, death, and faith. He's shown me that even in the darkest valleys, His plan is still unfolding. And Scripture says in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." I never imagined that promise could apply to grief, but now I know it does. And friend, if you're in the middle of sorrow right now, let me tell you this. Your pain is not wasted. God can turn even the most broken pieces into a masterpiece of purpose. I'm Angela Frazier, walking a path I never expected, but knowing that God is right here by my side. And get your free devotional journal, Beauty in the Valley, inspired by Logan's journey home, at the link below. And with love always, Angela and Logan. Bye.